The housing market has already crashed, but it's being disguised. We have a lot of sellers, a lot of builders that are offering seller concessions. This is nationwide and not just here in the Treasure Valley. I will use some examples towards the end of the video. Let's say a builder is offering $25,000 for closing costs to help you buy down your interest rate, the trap of the 3-2-1 rate buy down. If they're giving you $25,000 and the house is worth $400,000, do you realize that that house is actually being sold for $375,000? It's being inflated to $400,000. So although the median sales price is staying high because they're giving you that money, it's really should be lower. Matter of fact, at a $25,000 discount, that's a 6% decrease in the sales price, the median sales price, but that's not being shown. It's actually being disguised under a higher sales price because the seller's giving you that money. On our last video, we got a lot of flack from lenders and realtors alike for warning you guys of the 3-2-1 buy down and how we've been raising the red flag and how some of them still are not raising the red flag. Matter of fact, let's go into one of these TikToks to see exactly what lenders are saying.
Would you rather purchase a home now with a higher interest rate or overspend on a home? Hi, I'm Amanda with Mark C, and what I would advise my clients to do is date the rate near the home. So what that means is not to overspend on a home when you can refinance later down the line. Feel free to reach out to Extreme Loans today to answer all the questions you have and get your pre-approval today.
Nope. You can see lenders and even some agents are still disguising the whole market crash is happening. And they're saying, oh, you can refinance later, but they're overlooking the fact that the home values have dropped. And the reason why they're trying to push this narrative that you can refinance later, or they're trying to push you into these 2-1 buy downs using the closing costs that are disguising the crash that has already happened. Again, using that $400,000 example, the $25,000 in concessions, really that is a 6% decrease in home prices. Jumping into the Mortgage Bankers Association, we're seeing that the refinance have again decreased 4% from the previous week, but they're 12% lower than this time last year. And we know that the refinances were extremely low this same time last year. The purchase applications are 22% lower than this same time last year. Right now we're sitting in November of 2023, and yet the buyer demand is 22% lower than it was last year. Homes are still selling, and people will continue to say, well, nationally, we're up 1-2% year over year, but how much of that 1-2% has actually been given back to the buyer? For those of you guys who are new to the channel, something that I talk about, I've talked about in the past is agents had started increasing over and over. There were like 150 new real estate agents almost weekly in classes, and that has definitely slowed down. But I bring that up because with all the plethora of real estate agents that you can choose from, that means that they're not getting as many transactions as they normally would. In the last week, we've had 2 conversations with agents that have reached out to us. Both of them are friends. They haven't closed a transaction. They haven't sold a transaction in over 3 months. And these are real estate agents that normally close anywhere from 15 to 25 deals in a year. And yet we're not even to the slow season. And for the last 3 months, they haven't closed a deal. I bring this up because people are getting hungry. Agents are getting hungry, and the crash is really upon us. Some people, again, are trying to disguise it through these TikToks that we just briefly showed because they're hungry. They got food to provide for their families. They have a home to pay for. Not only do we see these narratives being pushed, but I understand why they're being pushed. I'm not saying that it's okay for them to be pushed. I'm just saying I understand why. A lot of you have probably heard about the National Association of Realtors lawsuit that's going on, where the National Association of Realtors owes consumers over $1.9 billion. Like the last thing I saw was $5.6 billion because of the antitrust laws. What is your guys' thoughts? What is your guys' thoughts about what's going on there? Do you think the real estate agents are just glamored, overpaid? They shouldn't be getting paid these high commissions? I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think this lawsuit was right? Do you think it was wrong? I am kind of curious to know that. But going back to the Boise Realtors, which is more of a local regional one, what we see is in 2022, we see this this sharp decline of homes being sold. So from 2021 to 2022, we saw a 15% decrease. From 2022 to 2023, what we're going to see is we're going to see a 14% decrease. So we're seeing that the number of homes being sold is slowly going down, which also follows along the lines of buyer demand, which we've talked about in the past. I'm bringing this up because we're seeing that the demand is dropping. Yes, homes are still selling. I'm not overlooking that. But we do have a high volume of demand dropping, which is going to correlate with the decrease of home prices. But going into Redfin, I just want to show you this, and I'm not a big fan of Redfin. I like their interactive home price. Going back to the crashes that already happened. Right now, what Redfin is showing is that the median sales price is up 0.1% at $469,000. We're just going to use a couple of examples here in the Treasure Valley to expose what's going on. And this is not just a Boise, Idaho thing, but it's more of a nationwide thing. Or take, for example, this house where the seller has broken down that they will give you 4.5% to help you buy down the interest rate in order to save $750. So they're really pushing, hey, let me save you $750. Now, why are these builders and sellers trying to give away these seller concessions? Well, one of the biggest reasons is so they have more money to put in their pocket. But let's just jump onto a mortgage calculator and see exactly what it would take for this house. So right now they're doing a loan of $700,000. What it would take for this house to get the same mortgage payment, instead of giving you $38,000 or 4.4% in seller concessions, what it would have to be in order for you to purchase it with 20% down and have the same amount of payment. So our goal here is to hit about $4,200. They had the 7% interest rate. So $4,200, what is it? What do we have to drop it down to? Let's just see if $600,000 would do it. So yeah, $600,000. Essentially, this seller would either have to drop their home, their home price $100,000 or $38,000. That's a big difference, right? They're trying to get you to pay an extra $60,000 just by giving you more closing costs. Same with the builder, and that is why you have to be aware, because affordability isn't there. And think about this, your loan at $600,000 is a $4,200 payment. That doesn't include your taxes, insurance, and since you're putting 20% down, you don't have mortgage insurance. This is something we want to sound the alarm to. Beware, because this housing market has already crashed. And of course, they're going to inflate it, right? The other reason why they want to give you seller concessions or closing costs to help you buy down your interest rate instead of dropping the price to affordable levels is because they want to keep these prices inflated. So when they build another house or it helps the narrative of, hey, this market's not changing, it's not going down. We actually plateaued. So go ahead, buy a house now because, well, we are all a little bit hungry at the table. Now let's look at these examples where these builders/agents are offering seller concessions, and what does that amount to? So this house right here, this house is a to-be built, and this particular builder is offering $20,000. So if the builder is offering $20,000 on a $380,000 house, that means that they're giving away 5%. So that number of the sold number should actually be 5% less than what that actual listed price is. But that's just one. So let's jump to this other builder. This other builder is offering $25,000 on a $400,000 house. So what does that give us? 25,000 divided by 403. That's a 6% decrease. So although the median sales price is staying right around that flat line, what you're not seeing is that the seller concessions underneath the sold price. I mean, this one right here, and this is another one, they're offering $35,000 on the sales price. So I believe this is going to be right around 6% too, but I got to do it just to make sure. So $35,000 that they're giving to the buyer if they purchase it at full price gives us a sold decrease of 6.5%. So every one of these is 5 to 6.5% decrease. So when Redfin is showing that we're all up 0.1%, really we should be down another 5 to 6% from what it is a year ago. And a year ago, we were sitting right at that $468,000. I want to bring this up because although things are being shown flatline, there's a lot more going on in the background that you don't see because you don't see the MLS and you don't see how much money is going in seller concessions. And I just want to bring light to this because I don't want you to think I missed out on an opportunity. I missed out on an opportunity. The home prices are flatlining and the interest rates are going up. And so now I lost my opportunity of getting a house. A lot of you guys have put comments in like, I feel like it's never going to be affordable again. But home prices are coming down. It is a little trickery right now because builders are having to give up money. Sellers are having to give up money that don't show in the median sales price, but those prices are coming down. When you take out the seller concessions, you see that the home prices are coming down. So don't give up hope. It will come. It's just a matter of time as buyer demand is continually going down. same as home prices. And we're not even into the slow season yet. We're getting ready to go into the slow season. So be prepared. Just stay on a lookout and don't give up hope.